Hello everyone, welcome back. So in our Appium series today we are going to see how we can migrate our Appium Java project from Appium Java Client 7.x to 8.x. So if you see our existing project, right, Appium Java Client, we are using 7.3.0. Okay, and then Appium also launched the 2.x version, that is the Appium server. We have already seen how to use, how to download, how to install the Appium server and the drivers, right? So this is kind of a continuation of that. Even Appium Java client also changed from 7.3.0 to 8.3.0. that is the latest one. Now this 8.3.0 got couple of changes, couple of deprecations. So how to really handle those things, that is what we are going to see today. So I'm changing the Appium Java client version 8.3.0 and I will be loading the dependencies. And if you want to see the details, what are the changes that happen, you can simply go back into this particular link and you will come to know. And we have already discussed about theoretically what are the different changes or the migration from version 7 to version 8. So you can refer to that as well. Okay, now you can see I have already upgraded my dependencies to 8.x, and when I go each of these file, right, I will be getting couple of errors actually. Now one of the main thing is that the mobile element, right, that got deprecated. So we no longer have this mobile element. So for this I will be removing. Okay, and let me do one thing actually. So I will do one thing. I'll make sure that this also goes to the 7.3.0 and Maven dependencies. So I'll just make a backup actually to this. So I will create a local branch here from from master. I will be creating a new local branch and I will be saying that backup version 7 just for reference actually. Now what I'm going to do, I'll go to my master, okay, and then here I will be changing this so that if tomorrow you want to see what are the changes that has been done, you can simply look into those things. Okay, so 8.3.0 I'm downloading the dependencies, and once it is done, and as I told, we will be getting couple of errors that we are going to resolve it. So mobile element is deprecated, so we need to delete all the instances of the mobile element. Okay, so I'm removing all these things. And there is one more thing also, these capabilities, right? Now the Appium 2.x, because I'm using the Appium server 2.x, right? So it means that the capabilities, the defining these capabilities are now got changed. It is no longer still stay active by this capability equal to new desired capability. Instead of that, there is an option called UIAutomator options actually. You need to use this one actually. So you need to create an object, and then after that you need to set those things. So that is what we are going to do. So at this moment I will be even commenting these things because I no longer require these things. Okay, so let me copy paste whatever the things that I need to do for the ease of or maybe for a quick change. So instead of this I will be copy pasting this one, and here you can see emulator 55.11.0, any application that you are using here, or you can change your own. And then here one more change you will be seeing that that the URL, the localhost 4723, before we were using WD hub, now it is no longer required. Let me show you that. So I will open my terminal and then I will run the Appium server, which I installed by using the npm command, and this will redirect to this particular location. You can see localhost 4723. There is no WD hub, that's why I have removed that option as well. Okay, and instead of capabilities, now you will be using the options. Okay, now the same thing that is applicable for your iOS as well. Now for this you will be using the XQtest options. So let me copy paste that as well, which I have handy here. Okay, and let me just import this one, and you can see 4723 only. And as you need, you can change this bundle ID, and here you can have the set package set app activity. Even you can give the set app. This is nothing but the path of the application, right? If you don't want to use the app package and app activity, you can use the set app. Set no reset equal to true. It will not install every time you launch your application. Okay, so that is one of the thing here, difference is there. Okay, so now you can see the errors are gone. There is no issue with that. So let me close it and let's go to the next Appium server. There is pretty much no changes that is required, so I'm just keeping as it is only here. And test engine listener, for sure there is no Appium instances to change here. Let's go to the util. Now in the util method or util class, there are a couple of changes that we need. The first thing is that I don't need this mobile element, and as you can see, the support UI, right, expected conditions, WebDriver wait, these things are now deprecated from Appium. Okay, so for this we need to add a new Maven dependency that is nothing but the Selenium support UI. Okay, so you just need to click on add, and you can see that a new dependency got added. If it is not added, you can explicitly use this. And this 4.8.1 is, I think, sync with your Selenium version only. This is Selenium support you need to install. Selenium you don't need to install because Java client has already Selenium inbuilt. It's just that they removed this Selenium support. That's why you need to explicitly use that dependency, and you can see the error is gone. Now a couple of changes we need to do here. Like you can see the touch actions gone, it's deprecated. Now you can see that it is even telling that the touch actions deprecated. We need to use the W3C actions actually instead of that. So it means that this is no longer valid now. So I will be removing. Now if you remove these touch actions, how will you scroll it? There are two ways. One is the W3 action, W3C actions actually we call it, which is nothing but you can use the point options. You can use the swipe method here. You can see like sequence, pointer input, we have already discussed about that. This is very much like your it's not dependent on your Android and iOS. You just write it once and you can use it for Android and iOS also, for both platforms. If not, there are certain mobile scroll options are there, and we will see that we call it as a mobile gestures. For your Android and iOS, that is separate. Even you can use those approaches as well. But for now, I will be sticking with this pointer actions and this sequence and everything, because this is already we discussed. Now, a couple of things we need to change it, because I disabled or I commented this scroll down, right? I'm getting couple of issues here. One of them is this scroll down is no longer exist. So I need to replace this scroll down with something else. Now what I'm going to do, anyway, I have this option, right? Like let me comment this. Now if you see that I have already this implementation scroll, and here two things I need to put. One is the scroll direction and the distance. Okay, scroll direction is what? Actually scroll direction is nothing but what is that actually, whether you want to like scroll it down, up, right, left, those things you need to really use it, and I will be putting as a down. And this scroll direction is nothing but, if you see here, right, it's a enum. So what is this scroll direction? So this is basically an enum that I have created, and that has the values as a down, up, and all those values are there. You can see here I have created this enum for handy purpose. Okay, so and then the next thing is that the distance that I want to really. Now what is the distance? Let's say that this is your mobile screen. How far you want to scroll it? It means that let's say this is my starting point, or this is my beginning point. Let's say that this is my top point. Now from where to where you want to scroll? Let's say 80% of the screen I want to scroll it. Let's say that this entire is 1. Okay, 80% means from here I need to scroll it like this. Okay, or from here I need to swipe it. That is nothing but the scroll ratio. Actually I have created one variable. Now this I have kept it as 80%. Let's say I want to do down, so it means that from here to top actually I need to do. Now that is what I'm going to do. So here instead of that distance, right, like if you go to this has the double distance. Double means it's the double type, so I will say that scroll ratio. Okay, so by default it will be always 80%, it will be scrolling it. Now this scroll, right, I will be changing a bit. I won't be keeping it as a distance, rather than I will say scroll ratio, so that it will be easily understandable. So we should be good. So wherever scroll down is there, let's use this particular method. And let's see what else errors. Okay, no errors are there. Here you see Android driver, there is a question mark. So you can see there is one more error, it is coming. So this generic class is no longer required actually now. So I will be commenting this one, or I will be removing it. Now there is no concept of Android driver, or maybe if you're keeping this Android driver app driver dot get driver, right? Now I'm casting it. This app driver is nothing but whatever the driver I'm getting, I'm casting it to the Android driver. So this is my driver command, right? Dot find element, and I will say Appium by, okay, dot Android UIAutomator, and then I will be putting this one, okay, and this has to be like this. And here, okay, and you can see there is no error now. So this is the way Appium by. Now this mobile by, which we had before, right, or any kind of Android locator strategy, Android or iOS locator strategies, if you want to use it, you need to use the Appium by. This is nothing but simply in Selenium we call it as a by. Okay, before we used to use mobile by for the Appium, now it is replaced with Appium by. That is the only difference here. Fine, no errors are there, and any instances of this generic class or generic parameters, I need to remove it. There is no requirement of this, and we should be good. And let's scroll down and see what else we have. And here also. And if you see this WebDriver weight, right, here now this parameter is now getting changed. Before we used to use a kind of a numeric, right? Now we have to replace that with duration dot up seconds, up minute, whatever it is there. So wherever like the second parameter of the WebDriver weight, right, I need to replace with this particular statement. Like here also we have one, right? So like this I can do. There is one more error, it is coming, yeah, here. So I can simply remove this one, and you can see pretty much we have handled everything about this util.java file. Now let's come back to this Android test. This is a sample test which we created, right? So I am going to remove those instances again as usual. So let me do it quickly. And these capabilities I need to replace with the UIAutomator option, because this is Android test. For iOS test, I need to use the XQE test options, which we discussed. So let me do it real quick. And here you can see this is mobile by. I need to replace with the Appium by, because this is what recently it got changed. And I will show you this accessibility ID also. They changed it. It's not exactly changed. You can see the capitalization actually got changed in this version to make it more readable actually. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I think pretty much I'm done. Now let's go to the iOS test. The same thing what we did for Android. I will be removing this instance, and I will be using the XQE test option instead of your capabilities. And depending on which application you are automating, you can change the bundle ID. The same thing for Android, you can change the app package and app activity. I'm leaving that up to you. Okay, fine then. So my base package is almost handled, so there is no issues. Now let's come back to here a little bit. I'm into this page objects, and you can see a lot of instances. We have the mobile element, so I will be keep on changing. And here it is duration dot of seconds 20, just to give some amount here, and you should be good. Okay, now let's go to, okay, I still have some issues. What is that? Duration of seconds. Okay, and here of seconds. Fine. And then contact space, there is no issues. Let's go to the test case and see. I think here not much issues you will be getting because of the Appium change. I think that is, let me just navigate one by one and try to see if any updates are required. It will be auto checking actually whether there is any issue is coming because of the dependency changes, and you can see there are a couple of changes here. Like you can see, this is WebDriver. Actually, we will be restructuring these things because this is not correct, right? We have already those util methods, but I'm again copy pasting that. I think this was while we were learning about some Appium concepts, we were using that. I will be completely restructuring this particular repo to use a proper page object model in future. This is just a simple migration so that tomorrow when I implement the page object model on a specific application, right, it won't be confusing that why am I using the XQt test options, why am I using the Android test for UIAutomator options. That's why this exercise is to understand the changes that we are implementing here. Okay, so that is how we have to do it. Now that we have changed this, I think there is no other errors actually that we are getting. Okay, we should be good. You can even use the maven compile option, like into this you can compile and you can try to see if there is any errors are coming or not, and it should give me a success actually, because there is no other dependency errors are there or any deprecations. Everything we have handled it now. Okay, fine. Now let's try to run a particular test. For an instance, let's say that I am going to run this particular, what do you call, code base to see that if it is working fine or not. So for this, I will be changing the application, what do you call, this particular bundle ID to this one, and we will be running. And you can see here pretty much like everything whatever we changed into this util package, util class, everything is handled here. You can see by ID we are taking the XQt test options, and then we are logging in. Basically this is a Sauce Labs application. I'll show you that application link as well. You can go to the Sauce Labs My Demo. It's a React.js application, but you can use it into the mobile application. If you are using for your iOS simulators, right, you can take this particular zip file, unzip it, whatever the .app file you will be getting, you just drag it to your simulator. If you are using real device of iOS, you can use the IPA. If you are using Android, you can use the APK. As simple as that. Okay, so I have the simulator ready. You can see that I have that particular application is installed here. It's called as My Demo application. You can go to the menu, you can click on the login, you can put the username and password, login and scroll. Okay, that is pretty much actually which we are going to do today, and that is what I have written already, this script. And here you can see the scroll method is, which scroll method is that? This is not the old scroll method, right? This is the recommended W3 actions scroll method is there. Even as I told, this particular method, swipe and the scroll, can be replaced with your mobile scroll, that is the mobile gestures, Android and iOS. But at this moment I'm not worrying about that. We will be seeing some more topics about Appium 2.x and the Java Client 8.3, which is a transition from your JSON wire protocol to the W3C protocol. Okay, so iOS test. Now let me execute this one, and as you can see, my Appium server is running, simulator is ready with the application installed. Now let me just go into this main method and you can run it. Okay, it seems like there are some other errors are also there. Let me just quickly remove these things. If any changes that is not discussed in this session but you are getting those changes, please do let me know into the comments so that we can discuss that, or maybe I can try to reply to fix those issues. Okay, fine. I think pretty much we are good. Let me run this main test and open the simulator and these two things side by side. Okay, seems like there is some issue is coming. Let me see that. Okay, seems like the bundle ID is not proper. Okay, and seems like this is not correct. Okay, let me find the proper one. Like this is wrong and this is the right one, and let me rerun again. The reason it is bit delaying is that WebDriver agent is reinstalling, and then you can see it launched the application and there is some issue again. Let's see that what is the problem. Okay, seems like some problem is there. Let me copy paste the actual one which we were doing it, right? So I will replace this entire thing to this one, and these things I will be removing it. And here let me import this Appium by and WebDriver wait, expected conditions, duration, and we should be good. I think we have clicked on the login button and then I'm scrolling. Okay, hopefully this will work fine now. And you can see now it launched real quick, and you can see it will click on the username, password, click on login button, and it will scroll. Yep, and then it should close the application. So for the first time when you run it, right, that time it will check whether the WebDriver agent is installed or not. There is an option actually, I think Appium capabilities, which you can use where you can check whether if the WebDriver agent is already, or the WDA we call it, if it is already there, don't try to reinstall it, so that it will be bit faster. Okay, we will discuss about that as well. Okay, as you can see that now it got executed. Now this particular what you call page object concept, right, we were checking lot of things and then lot of different changes we did. I'm even not sure that these things are still stays valid, so I will be completely cleaning up this particular what you call concepts, and we will be using a proper framework designing with this particular application. Now if you see that this application, right, which I have just shown, the demo app, this is pretty much similar for Android and iOS. So we will be taking this app as reference and we will be creating a framework for Android and iOS using Appium. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it actually for today. Hope this particular session will give you some confidence to get into your existing Appium framework, whether it is your work-wise or personal projects, and you can be able to migrate that to 8.x version. Okay, so stay tuned and do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.